Some themes in The Breast of the Sea by Syl Cheney-Coker include the negative effects of conflicts and wars, pollution, the futility of human endeavors, and the unyielding spirit of humans and hope for survival. Now let's delve into a deeper analysis of each of the themes. Number 1. The destruction, devastation, loss, and trauma caused by conflicts and wars. This theme is seen in the events referenced in the poem. Syl Cheney-Coker mentions the Middle Passage's cargoes in line 6 to underscore the impact of violence and trauma endured by the slaves carried across the Atlantic to the Caribbean and America, as well as the impact of such transactions on the nation. Furthermore, in lines 14 to 16, he suggests that with all that has befallen the people, there will be nothing left for Sierra Leoneans, not even when compared to those exiled from other nations. Lastly, the writer mentions the orphans of East Timor. The orphans of East Timor represent the children separated from their families or those who lost their parents during the Indonesian occupation and the subsequent struggle for independence, suggesting that the cry of the orphans of Timor will not stir empathy or a more positive outcome. This shows the extent of the devastation that has befallen the people described in the poem. Number 2. Environmental pollution. This is seen in lines 2 and 3. Filled with toxins, her belly will not yield new islands, even though the children of East Timor wish it so. The sea is portrayed as filled with toxins, foreign poisonous substances that were not meant to be a part of the sea. The sea is burdened by these toxins and no longer thoroughly fulfills its purpose of sustenance. The damage comes from different sources and activities like warfare and industrialization, travel, etc. As the damage persists, the ecological balance of the sea is offset and the sea suffers, patiently albeit, but the sea's bleeding affects other aspects of life negatively. This is seen in line 3 and line 18. Line 3 reads, "Filled with toxins, her belly will not yield new islands." And line 18 reads, "But do you, O sea, long-suffering mistress." On the other hand, the theme of environmental degradation also serves as a metaphor for what Sierra Leone has become after the ravaging events that led the author to pen this poem. This connotation is captured in lines 1 and 2. The writer states that what has become of the sea is a result of our bloody century, a time of bloodshed and turmoil. Number 3. Historical memory and preservation. This theme resonates throughout the poem. From the first line, it is clear that what is being described is an aftermath of a certain time that the writer noted as our bloody century. The poem goes on to further highlight this theme in various ways. An example is a mention of how much history the sea can hold. You see this in line 5. The sea is only capable of so much history. He then went ahead to mention some of the events of the century that stand out and resonate with the intense pain of devastation, chaos, loss, and death. You see this in stanza 2, line 6 to 10, where the poem talks about Noah's monologue, the Middle Passage's cargoes, Darwin's examination of the turtle's sheet, the remains of the Titanic, and the diver's story about how the coelacanth was recaptured. Anything else is only a fractured killer. These events captured here were witnessed by the sea and the sea bears some evidence of the events and the destruction that occurred. For example, the Titanic remains in the seabed. The sea can only hold so much, and eventually it cleanses itself. We see this in lines 9 and 10. This suggests that when the trauma that comes with the devastation reaches a certain peak, the individuals affected will have to confront and release it. This cleansing is required for them to thrive again. Number 4. Violence against women and children. The Breast of the Sea highlights themes of war and the separation of families. In the context of the wars and conflict in Sierra Leone at the time the poem describes, the women and children were particularly affected. War crimes like rape and child soldiers were common. The slave trade and wars separated families, and some parents were never to return. This theme is captured in different ways within the poem. For example, when listing some history held by the sea, Cheney-Coker mentions the Middle Passage's cargoes in line 6. The cargo of the Middle Passage, as we know it, is a critical leg of the transatlantic slave trade. It consisted of enslaved Africans who were transported to America, where they were sold and forced to work for Europeans. Another instance is seen in line 13. Throbbing, the sea's breast will console some orphans. Line 14 then continues with a statement that shows that the people are familiar with the cries of a raped woman. It reads, "But Sierra Leone won't be worth a raped woman's cry." Moreover, when men go to war, women and children suffer their absence and other mishaps that come with war, and the case of Sierra Leone is no different. Number 5. The futility of human endeavors. Cheney-Coker's poem, The Breasts of the Sea, captures this theme, showing that everything passes, and even the things that appear most significant and enduring will pass or be lost forever. This is seen in stanza 2. The stanza goes on to show that even the events that leave evidence behind, like the ones that have their parts buried in the sea, will be washed away as the sea can rid itself of these things. Although humans strive to understand the world and build things to withstand the forces of nature, they end in futility. An example of this idea is seen in the mention of the Titanic, a sea vessel that was rumored to be unsinkable but sank on its first voyage. Furthermore, it is seen that it is not only by willing it that humans become or get their abilities, something humans brag about and hold dear. The speaker's note on Darwin's theory highlights this. The Darwin's examination of tortoise shit is an expression that calls to mind the major theory postulated by Charles Darwin in the 20th century. This is a theory of evolution by natural selection. It shows that there is a huge aspect of the outcome of things that is not determined by human endeavor, but by nature. Despite the efforts of humans to conquer, everything breaks into pieces and becomes useless, just like a fractured killer. Finding any of the pieces will create stories like the divers did when the long-lost coelacanth was rediscovered. Number 6. The unyielding nature of the human spirit and hope for the future. To describe the heights of the sufferings of the people of Sierra Leone, the poem states that what is left of them will not be worth a raped woman's cry. Their loss, pain, and tears are so deep that part of their hope now lies on the sea, a route to a new place, and a source of sustenance. This is seen in line 13. It is evident that the people of Sierra Leone are broken and likened to a shredded garment with hands swimming like the horrors of red corals. However, the speaker notices the alluvial river flowing into the sea, and wonders if this means that the sea has the balm to heal the wounds of the people. Alluvial refers to the deposits of loose sediments like silt, clay, and gravel transported and deposited by rivers and streams. Such deposits are often found in riverbeds, floodplains, and deltas and are rich in organic matter. This makes the deposits suitable for growing food. Therefore, as the speaker ponders the future, his heart is relentless, seeking survival. He asks the sea if it has what the people need to heal. In conclusion, the themes in Syl Cheney-Coker's The Breast of the Sea paint the picture of the conflicts that characterize the 20th century and their effects. It especially highlights the wars and sufferings of Sierra Leone. In the end, the speaker wonders if the people can be healed and the future will be better. Did you identify other themes in the poem? Tell us in the comment section. See you in the next video.